You don't know who's going to win the next race. It could be anybody in the whole class. Everybody's a front runner.
It's really exciting.
It's the class of the future.
Yeah, I am so excited.
I don't think anybody can point at one boat in this series and say, hey, they're going to win today.
Drama-laden, adrenaline-fueled, this is Superboat International. Way down south in Alabama, with a hint of glades and stilted houses to deal with the sea surges in hurricane season. Orange Beach nestles on the shores of the Gulf of Mexico, a haven of wildlife, fishing and relaxing, with sand so white you need your sunglasses even on a cloudy day. Welcome to heaven. And today, embellishing these magnificent shores, the Premier League of powerboating. And for us, the first of 6 programmes from up and down the US Eastern Seaboard, finishing up with the grandest of grand world finals in Key West. Time to salivate. Coming up in the show, a quick roundup of the season so far, a chat with 9-time world powerboat champion Steve Curtis, and the views of the 2 men who this year have conjured up what many believe to be a winning formula for the sport over the next decade. More about that later. First, it's a 2-race format here in Orange Beach. Aggregate decides the weekend's winners. So, let's get straight into the race and take a quick look at the runners and riders in what will be our featured class on this tour, the Superboat itself. 6 in this first shootout, they are number 5, WHM Motorsport, Billy Moff, Jay Muller. Number 7, CRC, Mike de Vries, Tim McDonald. 13, Steel, Robert Noble and Grant Bruggeman. Number 20, Spirit of Qatar, Ali Al-Neama, Mohammed Al-Nasser. 45, JD Byrider, Tony Marcantonio and Mark Kowalski. And number 57, Rick's Collision, Paul Boudreau and Mike Stankham. Other boats running today include the Big Turbine, Mary Mack, number 741. In Extreme V, it's Lucas Oil 77, V, Phantom 9 in Red Hot Racing. And in Superstock, ATC, number 19. Straightforward track up and down the beach here, 8.16 kilometres, 7 laps, and plenty for the huge crowds to enjoy on a bumpy day afloat. Yellow flag on the start boat. Left of picture brings all the boats into line. Green will set them on their way. Here we go. Al-Neama and Al-Nasser, Qatar, smart out of the blocks. On board with them, Noblen, Bruggeman on their left, Steel. But it's Byrider, Marcantonio and Kowalski with nose in front. Route 1 to Mark 1, 4.4 kilometres up the track. Moff and Muller, WHM on the move too, stoking up the big yellow skater. CRC, De Vries and McDonald, and Qatar, Al-Neama and Al-Nasser in the early 5-boat mix. Grid 2 on their way. Red Hot Racing, JD Byrider. Second in V-class behind Phantom there, number 9. But all eyes back at the front. Just 1 kilometre now left before that crucial first turn. Qatar dropping back. Steel and WHM grabbing paint. There they are. Objective, a productive exit from Mark 1, which means putting it all on the sharp end going into the 180-degree turn. Always overcrowded. And with a few thousand gallons of spray knocking around, not always easy to work out quite where you're heading. Great mark, though, that was for Moff and Muller, last off the start line, in second place at 5 kilometres. 55 kilometres remain. 300 metres further up the track. The flying JD Byrider, their next target. Qatar, after that impressive blast at the green flag, forced to settle down now in 4th. Boudreau and Stankham. Rick's Collision are 5th, CRC 6th. Mary Mack, the big turbine there, down in 7th. No issues though for Mark Antonio and Kowalski. What an impressive first 9 kilometres. Into Mark 2, but with Moff and Muller breathing fire astern. And another tasty exit from them gets them on a line inside the race leaders. Rick's Collision joining in the fun, passing Qatar on the back straight now and lining up still. But Moff and Miller, what a lap alongside JD Byrider. Let the horses loose, let the drag race begin. Close on 200 kilometres an hour. And that is the big picture. Byrider on the right of your picture, Steele on the left. WHM straight down the middle with Rick's Collision steaming up behind. CRC are 5th. De Vries and McDonald wavering a bit. Well, as would a lot of teams in such company. Classy stuff in sea conditions, not quite as lively as predicted, but nonetheless, that ain't flat. Moff and Muller, WHM then creating a little breathing space here. Mark Antonio and Kowalski opting for a wider approach at the next mark. Cutting across, taking greater speed into the corner and position to drill inside WHM if they can and repay that favour. That's of course if Still and Rick's Collision don't get in the way. Oh, here we go. Not much space. Moff adjusts his race line. Shutting the door to you and me. Effective. No way through for number 45. Almost caught napping by Noble and Bruggerman Steele. Good mark for them. Lucas Oil leads Superboat Extreme V. Gary Ballou, ATC S19, leads Superboat Stock. And confirmation of Superboat positions after 20 kilometres. Less than 6 seconds blanket the top 4. Tight as a tourniquet, as they say. Bruggerman and Noble still trying to shackle themselves from the clutches of Rick's Collision. Boudreau and Stancombe on their outside. A few metres up as it stands there. And that will manifest itself on the next mark, I'm sure. It's a long way round the outside. Well, here we go again. Boudreau and Stancombe picking it up through the last 300 metres. Byrider in their sights now. Moff and Muller, meanwhile, safely round in front. Their last lap, 144.7 kilometres an hour. Byrider, 140.96. Rick's Collision, 143.56. It's the story of WHM and Rick's Collision from last and second from last on the start line to first and third after 2 laps. Moff and Muller almost 4 kilometres an hour faster than the race leaders. The big boat built for sea conditions well in excess of this, but here comes Byrider. Kowalski on throttles, clicks into overdrive. Where did that come from? Moff and Muller just about wising up in time. Stay in control. Mark Antonio, though, still with a decent track position, cutting across and very nearly putting it off at the exit. Good racing from 2 immensely experienced race pairings. Super Scrap 2 behind for third, riding there with Steele. Rick's Collision ahead on the left. Both in good shape, though Boudreau and Stancombe losing 40 or 50 metres. Over half the race completed. Quality racing on every lap. Any of the 6 boats here with the capability to win on their day, and it can even change during the course of a race. The sea here just beginning to lay down a little, and we've just seen Mark Antonio and Kowalski able to find a couple of kilometres an hour to get themselves back in the hunt for the front. It's great stuff. And back to the last lap time. WHM 144.7, Byrider 144.7, Rick's Collision 142.9, and Steele 142.6. Confirmation of that. Rick's Collision, by the way, the really tidy Mark 1 exeter finally put clear water between themselves and Steele. And here come Mark Antonio and Kowalski again. Inside Moff this time. 1,700 metres to Mark 2. Qatar closing up as well as conditions continue to lay down. 150 kilometres an hour. Beautiful boat this. The former reliable carriers MTI hull looking tidy. 20 kilometres to go. Swiftly back though to Mark 1. Moff and Muller again will have to defend. Kowalski and Mark Antonio, another potential overtaking opportunity coming up. In they go. Oh, Moff giving nothing away. Holds easily in the end. JD Byrider need to get a little tighter on them. They will try again at the next mark, I'm sure. This is noble. And Bruggeman, and there's a boat over in front. And I reckon that is Rick's collision. Indeed it is. Prix getting out on the replay. Boat on the left. Caught on Byrider's wash as they hook towards the exit, and over they go. Paul Boudreau and Mike Stankham safely out already. Damp disappointed. A superb performance doused with disaster, so Shield move up to third, Qatar fourth, as WHM and Byrider continue to argue about who should be the race leader. Well, oh, and that's still in trouble. Championship leaders, Noble and Bruggeman grinding to a halt on the penultimate lap. And that will increase WHM Championship lead points overall, providing, of course, they beat off the Byrider challenge. Qatar move up to third. It's all going off with 10 kilometres left. Last lap speeds. Moff and Muller up the stakes. 1.1 kilometres an hour quicker than Byrider, breathing space, but not a huge amount of it. CRCR fourth. Battles all over the track in all different classes, but who cares? It's fun to watch for the crowds here in Orange Beach. Right on the action, they can almost touch the boats. Not literally, of course. It's brilliant. But let's take a look at Rick's collision one more time. Well, just desperately unlucky. Caught there. Rolling off Byrider's wash. Every driver's nightmare. So, last lap, last corner. Moff and Muller still lead. Whoa, little wide and ragged. Mark Antonio and Muller with a chance to steal inside, which they do. Closing it up a bit too. 1.8 seconds still to make up in a drag race to the checkered flag. WHM rooster on the left-hand screen, 2.5 kilometres to go. Gap down to 1.2 seconds. No doubt now who's the quicker boat. Is there enough track left? Oh, and look at that. Less than a second, 300 metres to the line. Kowalski hits the gas. Muller is trying to respawn, but it's too late. Byrider, boat flying. They've nicked it on the line. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was quite something. And I'm wondering whether or not Moff and Muller realised that Byrider were that close. Another race too, after this one, turning into quite a day. Al-Neama and Mohammed Al-Nasser cruise in for their first podium in only their second outing together. And they'll settle for that. Solid stuff. First blood then for Mark Antonio and Kowalski on this day of two races. Spectacular 5 kilometres, the icing on the cake of a dogged performance. Elsewhere, Lucas Oil take the line honours in Extreme V. It's 741, Mary Mack in Turbine.
That was a shootout. That was a turn of the weather. I think everybody was scrambling. Every team was at a disadvantage. Everybody was changing props at the dock, moving weight. You know, we heard that it was flat. We heard fishermen tell us it was flat. Other people said there were some rollers. So I think everybody just got caught with their pants down on this one.
I think at the end they may have gotten us just due to the fact that there was a boat upside down right in the straightaway. I saw the checkered flag out. We thought that he was a little further back than he really was. He had a run on us at the end, and he just maybe caught us by surprise. But other than that, I think we had the race covered.
Well, race 2 coming up shortly, and they all get ready for that. All recovered in the case of Rick's collision. Time to find out how this new Superboat class evolved and why. And what better man to talk us through that than 9-time world champion Steve Curtis.
Well, the interesting thing is about this new class, they've got 3 classes and brought them together. And they've joined them together by just running one single engine with a set of rules to it. So they've all now got about 790 horsepower. Also, by the engine structure they've put together, it's reasonably affordable in comparison to some of the unlimited classes. These boats will run around 140 miles an hour, which is the same speed that they're running in the Class 1 UIM. So you're getting Class 1 speeds at a fraction of the cost. So I can think that this class globally is probably the way to go. It's got to give you an outcome to make the racing better, make it affordable. It's going to grow. It's going to be the biggest class, I think, globally.
Best thing since sliced bread, as we say in England. And already today we've seen exactly why. What will it be like when the predicted 12 lineup? Back in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Orange Beach, Alabama, and the all-new Superboat racing class everybody wants a slice of. The brainchild of creating a genuine global series of which Superboat will be the core is an amalgam of ambition by two of the world's great powerboating men, John Carbonell, USA, and Sheikh Hassan Al Thani, Qatar. Let's catch up with them, talking about a double-header planned for Key West in November and Doha, January 2014.
Do you see this event as changing the face of world offshore powerboating?
Well, I would hope so, yeah. We're serious. We want to have the event. We don't have powerboat racing, we create events. That's the difference between, KMSF and the rest of the world, I would say. We want to have an event. We want people just to come in and say, wow, that's the event that need to be seen at always. And they will be looking forward to come in every year. So that's the objective, that's the target. I'm sure we'll be able to do it.
I've met with the Sheikh for the last 2 days, 3 days, and we've been going over it, and had talked to him before on the possibilities, and we were able to work it out. The Sheikh has all of the amenities that we need to do this race, and I think it's going to move the sport a lot further. Can the American boats really beat the European boats, or vice versa?
It's a winning formula, make no mistake. Give the fans what they want to see, the teams what they want to compete in, and they will both turn up in numbers. Okay, it's a sunny day here on one of the most beautiful beaches, but make no mistake, a high percentage of those trackside are here for the boat racing, captivated by real action close up. Race 2 coming up. First though, a quick recap from Cocoa Beach, round 2. Just one race there, an absolute belter it was too. WHM and Byrider providing the bulk of the paint rubbing, but huge contributions also from Steel and CRC early on. An impressive debut by Doha's all-new Qatari lineup, but a close encounter for Warpaint. In the end, it was WHM by 10 seconds over Byrider, with less than 100 seconds separating the top 4. And that means WHM arrive here with a 46 points lead over Still, with Byrider in 3rd place. Mark Antonio and Kowalski, JDB though, coming out on top so far though in this Orange Beach doubleheader. What would he and Kowalski do now for a repeat performance in this second encounter? Yellow flag. Green, and here we go. Riding with Noble and Bruggeman, Steel. Al-Neama and Al-Nasser, Qatar on their right. Bruggeman and Noble edging up, back on board with Steel. Byrider on their right now, replacing Qatar, who slipped back to 3rd. Merrimack, the big turbine, heading off over the horizon. Second grid on their way. V and production classes very much a part of the new roadshow in support of Superboat. Close racing. Spectators love them because there's loads of close action. Regretfully not a big turnout of boats this time. That will improve as the season progresses. Same for Superboat. 8 registered for the finals in Key West, with more to come. Back on the track, WHM closing up. Mark Antonio and Kowalski Byrider still lead ahead of Noble and Bruggeman, Steel and CRC, De Vries and a MacDonald. Much better start for CRC this time. WHM again, slow out of the blocks. Is a heavy boat, but getting there now on board with Steel. They remember broke down in the first race, shed a propeller, which is unusual. Bailed out with a set of propellers loaned by Tony, Mark Antonio, JD Byrider. Nice touch. Just 5 of the 6 superboats left in this second encounter following the exit in race 1 of Rick's collision. The sea conditions picked up a little this time. Bumpy ride. 7 laps, 40 mile is the shootout. First sector times, Byrider 136.3, Steele 135.3, CRC 135.1, WHM 128.4, reflecting those heavier conditions. Muller making up for that now. Any increase in sea state playing in their favour, of course. Dare I say, a small matter too of making amends for being caught on the finish line in race 1. CRC and Still continue there. Tete for second. Noble and Brookerman with the edge in a straight line. De Vries and McDonald with advantage of inside line on the corners. Pretty even scrap. Good to watch. Al-Nasser and Al-Neama bringing up the rear. Not quite as impressive as first time out. Just a little bit choppier. Possibly slightly overpropped. Behind them on the back straight, a good old melee going on between the other classes. Each score important, same class or not. Back in the front, Muller right back on the big mix already. Stunning 8 kilometres. Great position too, inside track. Mark 1 coming up again, and WHM will be in second place when they exit. De Vries and McDonald finding useful position too, but they won't halt the march. WHM is rock and rolling. Well, that was superb. CRC and Steele preoccupied watching each other, offering up an opportunity. Muller, eyes on the ball at full chat, happy to accept the offer. Last lap data unravelling the whole picture. WHM 147.7 kilometres an hour, Steele 140.8, CRC 140.6, Byrider 139.3, Qatar 138.2. The fastest lap of the weekend could not have come at a more opportune moment for the championship leaders. Still, once again ahead of CRC, toing and froing since lap 1. Qatar battling on. Just not their race, is it? Mary Mack joined their outing. This is Lucas Oil. They lead Extreme V. And, as you might expect, WHM are closing on Byrider. Gap was 5 seconds, now 3.4 seconds. 19 kilometres left to the checkered flag. Good, tight line on the turn, boy, reeling in more valuable fractions. And by the end of the back straight, Mark Antonio and Kowalski might be lucky to be still leading. Well, in fact, it won't go that far. WHN piling in, less than halfway down it. Here they go! That's an easy steal and begs the question whether or not Mark Antonio has a mechanical problem. Been getting progressively slower over the last couple of laps. Oh, and more trouble looming. Out of the mist, Steele appears. They will cash in too. Byrider succumbing without so much as a whimper. Not their style at all. There's got to be a problem. Not good watching if you're a Byrider fan. Absolutely brilliant if you're part of the mob movement. Another step towards the 2013 title about to be accomplished. Well, that said, Steele have closed now to within 3 seconds of them. Well, hate to say it, it's exactly the same as Byrider in race 1. All the hard work completed 10 kilometres back. The pass on Byrider, signalling the achievement to rise from last to first. It was a touch of class. Well, I hope I'm not preempting this too much. Less than 5 kilometres to go, and still are slotting into overdrive. Same as race 1, slightly different cast. Surely it couldn't happen again. Totally outrageous. Noble and Bruggeman in a last-ditch bid for glory alongside WHM. It will be another drag race to the flag. In their wake, Mark Antonio and Kowalski, there they are, enjoying the moment, perhaps pondering whether or not they should have kept the props they lent Robert Noble and given him theirs. 200 metres to go. Where is this going to finish up? Moff and Muller respawn. A few vital metres gained. What have Noble and Bruggeman got left in the tank? It's pedal on the metal. All or nothing for both. 250 metres left, and WHM are going to hold on. The last desperate lunge has been repelled. Billy Morph and Jay Muller will win race 2. And what a relief that will be in their camp. And what a way to end a great day's racing. Absolutely superb. Bruggeman and Noble close in the end, but not quite close enough. Tony, Mark Antonio and Mark Kowalski filling the 3rd podium spot. So this is how they cross the line and the points allocated. By riders 3rd, handing overall weekend honours to WHM.
At the start of the race, it took a few waves. We couldn't quite get our rhythm together quick enough. And we're battling there with CRC and Qatar there for a while. So we're constantly dealing with whitewater, whitewash, can't see in the turns. So that takes a lot of time away from us getting in and out of the turns. So once we had cleaner water, we could concentrate on a good run, and I could see the water, I could see the waves and get motoring. And then down in the east turn, WHM was slowing up a little bit going into the turn, so we ran it in a little hotter and made a pass on them into the turn, but coming out they pulled a boat length on us and took the win just by that small amount.
It was a great weekend. This is a great venue. Orange Beach is going to be a great race for the future. It's a great city. The people are fantastic. I think everybody's I think everybody had a good time here. I think it's a great race venue.
Yeah, competition's real good too. So we're hoping to come back because that's what it's all about.
It was very rough and we cannot push. So we finished the 5th and we are safe. The boat is safe. And congratulations for everyone. I'm happy for that.
This is how the leaderboard looks. 3 races completed, 4 still to go. Here's Billy.
I was saying to Jay earlier, I think you two like making it hard for yourself. Would you agree with that?
You know what? We went out there in the first race and we ran hard and we ran well. And then it was, Boudreaux went upside down, and then it was a situation. Nobody knew who really won, who didn't win. We kind of seen the checkered flag come out. We knew the race was over. We backed off a little bit. And then Tony slides past us. Now we have doubt in mind. We went out there the second race. I looked at him. I said, you know what? We got to repent. We need to repent. Well, repent wasn't the proper word in the beginning of that race because we were dead last. But by the end of the race, we repented.
The charismatic Billy Morph signing us out of Orange Beach. From me, Peter Butler, thank you for your company. And hope to see you again in 1 month's time when the great Superboat Roadshow touches down in Sarasota. See you there.